Welcome to Obstacle Running Adventures.
I did have one podium from them and got one of the coolest trophies that I've ever gotten in my collection. So there's like this giant Viking helmet. You hang it for 1 second, I can grab it.
Yeah.
I'll show you. Yeah. All right, check this out.
Oh man, that is so awesome.
Like literally solid muscle, wood horns. So pretty legit. I think it must have been 2014 or 15. So maybe I think it was about the last year that they were around, as far as I remember, before they went out under. And I guess Spartan bought them, but then did nothing with them. So yeah, that was a cool souvenir I got to keep. But we were talking about other races that have disappeared, that we miss, and that was kind of, I figured, what we were going to talk about a lot today, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I've actually gotten to see you this summer quite a few times.
Yeah.
At some races that unfortunately announced that they were going to be their last event.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's been a rough last year or two, especially. But even going back before that, some races that just didn't hang around that long. Like I said, Warrior Dash probably already 10 years ago, I guess, that they went under. But of course, Battle Frog was a few years after that. Bone Frog more recently, their last one last year. But then, I got to see you at some of the smaller series races that I think are actually some of my favorite. And unfortunately, it's tough for them to hang around with some of these big races that either just have, bigger budgets or have been around longer to kind of get that head start on grabbing people. So yeah, I got to see you this year at Viking Race, upstate New York. Boulder Dash, was in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Obstacle
Wonderland.
Yeah, well, they're not done. They're still
no, they're doing okay.
And actually, I'll be there this weekend. I don't know if you're doing there. Yeah, on Sunday. So, luckily I think Gabe is in good position that he'll be able to keep running, and his situation is a little different. He actually runs that out of his own backyard. So, I guess that saves on some of the red tape and hassle and everything else that goes into getting a race, approval. So
I was really glad I was able to run, because that was my first time being able to take on that course. And when I pulled up, I'm like, am I in the right place?
I know, right?
Super nice guy. Like, yeah, it's just in my backyard. And it was a damn good event. Like, I love the whole like crazy format of like, all right, multi-lap. And I'm a sucker for multi-lap, so I had a great time there.
Yeah, well, even tying in some of the other races that have gone defunct, Gabe at Obstacle Wonderland has actually been lucky to take advantage of some of the equipment that he purchased from some of those. One of them, namely, was Bone Frog, that I guess you could say went under twice, maybe.
Yeah, it was bizarre. Yeah.
So he's one of the first people I messaged to say, Gabe, maybe check out this race, that race. Maybe they have equipment that's going to be up for sale, or who knows if they're junking it. But he's kind of a collector in his backyard of a lot of different events and plus stuff of his own. So
yeah, definitely highly recommend people go and check out his events. I'm bummed out I'm not able to make it to Halloween, because that sounds like right up my alley. I love Halloween. I love OCR, and it seemed to be like a great mesh. And just seeing the pictures from last year too, looks like it's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is, like, most of his events do have a theme. A lot of them are around a holiday. So he's done Christmas holiday type ones. He's done Halloween. This is the second year, I guess, or maybe more. Summertime themed, spring, Easter. So he's had all kind of different seasonal and holiday themes to his races. It's fun too, because he does have a good kids contingent that comes out. So obviously they get all buzzed about it. Yeah.
And the medal is awesome for the Boogie Wonderland. I still have mine back there. The big disco ball and everything.
I think that's the biggest medal I've ever gotten. Yeah,
it's huge. Yeah,
I know. Yeah.
Going back to actually medals and your badass helmet from Warrior Dash, what are some of your favorite like medals and awards that you've gotten from races over the years?
Well, I think the Warrior Dash helmet is up there. I do have to put probably at the very top, though. I was lucky enough to have one top 3 elite Spartan, and that back in the early days they gave out swords. So I don't know if you can actually see it just behind me on the wall up here. So that was from Tuxedo in 2011. We were talking about earlier about the first race I did, Spartan, in Brooklyn, which is their tri-state sprint. The next year, that's when they moved over to Tuxedo Ridge, where they were until 2019. Okay. Sorry, started in 2011 till 19, and then obviously COVID, crashed that party. And now they're in Bethel, New York, right, where the Woodstock site is.
That's pretty cool. I haven't had the chance to take on that venue, but I've heard interesting things. It would be cool to go there for like the sake of history of it too.
Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful venue, absolutely gorgeous grounds, and with the history, and they have a museum there, which is I recommend going to after your race. Check that out. So, and that's not too far from me, so it's a couple hours away.
I know there's Spartan in New York that I really enjoyed until they went under. Actually, it was one of the few events to happen in 2020. But Greek Peak too.
Yep.
What were your feelings on that course?
Yeah, I got to do that a couple times. It was strange, racing in March, literally as the ski season is going on. There's people, zooming down trails that you're running up the sides, next to them. Now I'm not a cold weather person, so I don't really like, the winter so much. I get really cold. I shut down. So my races weren't that great, but just being that it was unique, literally, a snowy race. Was pretty cool. And I think the best thing, if you got to do one of those, the medals were probably some of the best Spartan medals. They had the cool, aqua blue, color to them, and then sort of the see-through glass, parts to it. So it's just different than any of the other races. I guess it was a sprint. It's considered a sprint, right?
It was like the winter races, which was nice.
Yeah, but just strange I was running with like snow gloves and 2 hoodies on. It was difficult to hold anything. Everything's slippery and icy. So not where I really perform my best in that type of race, but it was fun. And so I think I got to do that in maybe 2 or 3 years.
I missed when Spartan had the more unique medals. Obviously, they have Sprint Super Beast, the kids medals, but like back in the day when I first started getting into OCR and was really excited to do like all of the races was when each stadium race had their own medal. Like I still have the Fenway one, which is like the Green Monster Green, and I'm sure they had some awesome ones there too. Did you end up getting was it an orange medal for your stadium over there? Citi Field,
I think was it had like an orange and blue background kind of. Yep.
Very jealous. That was the medal I wanted more than anything, and I never got the chance to do it until this year. I finally got to run Citi Field.